everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. So today we are talking all about the deep core. I don't know, whenever I hear the phrase deep core, I feel like it's like
deep state, the dark web.
I don't know, it feels scary. My brain is weird. Anyway, specifically in today's video, we're gonna talk about what the deep core is, how you can train it, and then what social media is saying about it. But before we jump into all of that, we have to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community built to help you learn and grow. Whether you wanna start a digital business or improve your painting skills, Skillshare has something for everyone. I'm currently in my third year of business, and each year I like to revisit the basics. What are my company values? What are my goals this year? And how can I implement these things smartly and strategically? So one of the courses I recently started was Analytics and Authenticity on Instagram, Crafting Your Digital Presence with Sophia Chang. One of the main ways I grow my client base is through social media. So I'm always looking for courses that can help me reach people across all platforms. And it's really helpful to tie in my company values with a specific social media strategy. Now, if you would like to try out Skillshare, I have a deal for you. The first 1,000 people to use the link down in the description box below will get a free month trial to Skillshare. So if you end up snagging one of those memberships, let me know what course you're taking down in the comments. And thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Okay, so we're gonna start with some anatomy. Technically, deep core isn't an anatomical phrase. It's not something you learn when you're getting your personal training certification, if you're studying exercise science or kinesiology. But if we're thinking about deep core, that's gonna tell me, okay, we're thinking of the deepest layers of our core. So that's actually gonna be something called the local stabilization system. These are the muscles that connect directly to your vertebrae or your spine. The main muscles here are the TVA or transverse abdominis, internal obliques, diaphragm, and then the pelvic floor musculature, which is like 14 different muscles all connected, but we're just gonna call that the pelvic floor. And the function of this whole system is to provide spinal stability, assist with posture, and aid in proprioception. Proprioception is basically how you understand your body relative in space. Was that a sentence? It's like understanding your body in space, right? Is that a good way to explain it? So if you were to step on the floor and do a lunge, or if you were to step onto a elevated step and do a lunge, you can feel the difference between those because of how your body moves in space. I think my brain is doing weird things today. Okay, let's keep going. Welcome to the floor. All right, so I'm gonna take this in 3 chunks, and this is actually wildly similar to the postnatal core recovery progression that I would do. I do have a whole postnatal program dropping in June, which definitely hasn't happened yet when this video's gone out. Anyway, time is weird. This video is weird. Let's keep going. Okay, so the number one thing here is going to be your breath work. Even if we think about one of these deep core muscles, it's your diaphragm. What do we think about with our diaphragm? Breathing. And remember that if you aren't breathing correctly, you're not gonna get as much out of your core work, let alone all of your other strength work. So step 1 is to simply learn how to sit and breathe. So making sure you can locate your sits bones. You can also do this sitting on a chair, or if you're really having trouble with your breath, you can do this laying down on your back too. First thing I want you to do is hold some hamburgers in your hands, and you're gonna place it around your front and back ribs. From here, just let out a big exhale, let everything go, relax. So from here, we're gonna take a big inhale into the ribs, and I want you to expand your hamburgers front and back. So big inhale, expand. Exhale, shrink those hamburgers down. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, expand. Exhale, shrink them down. So in that first round, I just want you to feel, where was your breath? Were you able to expand and shrink those hamburgers, right? Or expand and contract through your ribs? For me, I typically get more expansion in the front. So I have to really be conscious, can I expand through the back of my ribs a little bit more? For some people, maybe their breath is stuck down in their low belly. What I see a lot with people is that their breath gets really shallow in those upper ribs, and on the inhale, they actually raise the shoulders down and then really compress that thoracic cavity as they come down. So one more time, we're gonna practice that, and I want you to think of expanding front and back through those ribs. So big inhale, and exhale, contract. Very nice. So if you're feeling good with that breath work, let's progress it onto the back. So we're gonna do some single leg lowers or heel taps. Bringing the legs into tabletop, I want you to flex through the heel and then press your low back down. Knees should be in line with the hips, not in past them. Arms are pressing down into the mat, relax your neck. On your inhale, we're gonna take one leg out in front of us, press that low back down, exhale, contract that core. So same thing, we're expanding 360 degrees and contracting. Other side. And exhale, pull it back in. Now you see a lot of times online people doing both legs and then a crunch up and maybe a twist. Like I said, simple is going to be better here. If we think about the function, remember, we're trying to resist that spinal movement, create spinal stability. So really reinforcing that neutral spine and understanding how all of those deeper layers really support our breath and our core work. Okay, so final progression here. I actually want to bring you down into a forearm plank. Now you're probably like, oh, great, easy, I do these all the time. I'm gonna cue you in a way where you are going to rethink doing your forearm planks. We're starting this actually modified down on the knees. Forearms are parallel, on the knees, tuck the toes under, drop your hips down and forward. From this position, focus in front of the hands, and I want you to press the floor away rather than sink into your shoulder sockets and pinch your mid-back muscles together. So we don't want this, we need to drop the chest down. From here, a lot of times, you see this hyper arch of the low back. Tuck the hips under. That's gonna get your abs involved as a stabilizer. But more importantly, now we're gonna take a big inhale, expand through the ribs, don't lose that connection. On your exhale, try and pinch the elbows and knees together. If you wanna advance this, you can lift the knees up an inch. Try not to hyperextend through those knees, and that's your plank. I don't know if you could see, we'll do like a quick little rewind in there. I was shaking.
You can lift the knees up an inch. Try not to hyperextend through those knees.
So this is another reason why I'm always like, y'all, you don't need to hold planks for much more than 30 seconds. Like if you're doing it right, if you're actually using your core to do the plank and not just sitting in your joints, 30 seconds is all you need at a time. So I think the big takeaway from all of this is that these exercises to work on your deep core or your local stabilization system or really your foundation, it's simple. Simple does not mean easy. Trust me, if you're doing these exercises like that forearm plank intentionally and with proper form, it's never gonna get easier. You're just gonna get better at it and it's gonna continue to be hard. So now that I've shown you the ways that I would progress through training your deep core, let's move into what the fitness girlies are saying. So I went on TikTok and I found 3 different videos that I have kind of an issue with for 3 different reasons. Let's start with this first one. So the reason I wanted to show this video is because there's a lot of talk all over this video of your abs or your rectus abdominis. Your abs are actually not part of your deep core, as we're calling it for this video. That's going to be part of your global stabilization system. Those are the muscles that attach from the pelvis to the spine, not directly to the vertebrae. And the abs just serve a different function, right? If we think about all of the exercises we've talked about in terms of deep core training so far, a lot of it is resisting movement. And what a lot of these exercises are doing, especially if you want to train the abs, that requires training through movement because your abs are going to bring your ribs and your pelvis closer together. Now, from a functional standpoint, I also think you can get a lot of ab connection to exercises as a stabilizer. Why did I say stabilizer so weird? So I'm not in that wheelhouse of people that are like, you're never working your abs unless you're doing a crunching motion. Like, I don't think that's necessarily true just from a functional standpoint of how we use our abs day to day. Anyway, that's a topic for a different video. But to be like, hey, do this crunching motion and this is gonna work your deep core, that's not quite right. And that's what you see a lot of. Let's look at video number 2. We're going to ignore the fact that I don't agree with some of the exercise choices here and that the volume is just wildly too high. I actually want to discuss the fact that there is a body check at the beginning. You don't train your deep core to get snatched. It's not how it works. You train those muscles to support your spine. You train those muscles to support your heavier lifts. You train those muscles so that when you get older and you jump around, you don't accidentally pee a little bit. And look, I know none of that is like super sexy, and it's much better just to like flash the camera with some good angles and some good lighting and show everyone your abs. But like, let's be real, these exercises did not get you that. Also, half these exercises were not deep core exercises, in my opinion, or not something, look, like you can and should use that musculature for every single exercise you do. But if you don't have the basics, which we've already covered, you're not going to be able to tap into those muscles anyway. This video is just a great example of someone who actually might know a lot, but in my opinion, ruins all credibility with this like flashing my body at the beginning BS. Let's look at the last video. All right, so this one is kind of a mix of like both problematic videos we've already seen. It starts with hack to shrink your waist and flatten your belly. So spot reduction, cool. Then it says start doing deep core exercises like this. I actually like this exercise. I call this a single side dead bug instead of crunches. And she's not wrong. Crunches will work more of your abdominals, more of that outer layer. We're trying to work the layers underneath. And a lot of this is going to be working slower, working simpler, and really focusing on your breath connection. But this creator blatantly is lying to you. Do this exercise and this will shrink your waist and flatten your belly. And then the caption is literally just an ad to join their app. So it's shitty marketing. Personally, I don't think you should lie to people to get them to give you money. This is a very like my body is my business card, stretching the truth type of moment, but spend your money where you want, I guess. All right. We got some sass in there. We got some science. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's another trend that you've seen online that you want me to talk about, potentially debunk. There is good stuff out there, don't get me wrong. But I just find that when things get trendy, people take it and they just stretch it as far as they can and bring it to this crazy extreme when hopefully if you've learned anything from watching my channel, it's that everything kind of resides in the middle. And if someone is promising you something that sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos, and I will see you in the next one.